What if I told you that you could make $1 million in 24 hours, even if today you are buried in debt, with no savings, no assets, no family connections, no wealthy friends to lend a hand? What if I told you that you could cross from poverty into prosperity faster than the clock strikes its next cycle? Even if you have failed in business, wasted years drifting, and find yourself now with nothing to show but regret? You would call me extreme. You would laugh in disbelief. You would whisper to yourself, "It cannot be so." But I tell you, I have seen fortunes turn in a single day. I have witnessed wealth rush toward a man as sudden as a storm, while his neighbor waited decades in vain. And I say to you now, it is not chance, it is not accident, it is not luck, it is law, a law hidden from the multitude because they would rather mock than obey. A law the rich will never shout from the rooftops because they know most men will not pay the price of definiteness. You are thinking, how? How could this be? Do not rush. If I were to give you the answer in one word, you would dismiss it as too simple, too unbelievable. That is why I will not hand you the treasure in a sentence. I will walk you into it law by law until your own mind cannot escape the conclusion. By the end of this speech, you will not only believe that great wealth can arrive in 24 hours, you will know why and how. But before I show you, let me place a warning before your eyes. If you treat this as mere entertainment, if you drift while you listen, if you take these words as inspiration but not as command, you will gain nothing. You will walk away exactly as you came, poor, doubtful, waiting for someday. This law does not honor the lazy. It bows only to the definite. Think of this. Why does one man remain stuck for 30 years in the same misery, while another secures his fortune in a single day? Why does one man accumulate nothing but bills and disappointment, while another walks into opportunity as though it were prepared for him alone? The difference is not education, not inheritance, not connections. It is something far greater, far more mysterious, and far more available to you than to the men who pretend to be your betters. Frank W. Gonzalez discovered it when he stood in his pulpit and declared, "What I would do if I had $1 million." He had no million, no wealthy allies, no earthly reason to expect that his words would be answered. Yet within 24 hours the fortune was his. Not because of chance, but because his words carried definiteness, desire, faith, and decision. He preached as though the money were already in his hands, and by morning the world had obeyed him. This is the law you are about to hear. The law that riches flee from vagueness and leap toward definiteness. The law that time itself bends when desire burns white hot.